HorrorDeconstruction.
What's up, everybody? It's the HorrorDeconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, most likely on YouTube. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit that bell icon. Let us know that you like our show. And always make sure you can leave a comment and talk to us about it, because we listen. With your host Comp and the solo deconstruction for 31 films in Halloween times, which would be October. You can see I'm trying to think of what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, today's film is Summer of 84, 2018. After suspecting that their police officer neighbor is a serial killer, a group of teenage friends spend their summer spying on him and gathering evidence. There you go. But as they get closer to discovering the truth, things get dangerous. Directed by three a triumvirate: Francois Simard, Anouk Wissel, Johan Carl Wissel. Written by Matt Leslie and Stephen J. Smith, starring Graham Verschere, Judah Lewis, Caleb Emery, and a whole bunch of other people, and obviously, most notably, that one actor who's been in a lot of things. I can't think of it. He was I know he was something or who cares. Anyway, so this film, obviously, it's I think it's Rich Sommer. Yeah, Rich Sommer. He's an actor you've seen in stuff before. He's I think he's been mostly in comedies. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I definitely know I've seen that actor in some places. Anyway, he plays the detective that people. He was in Mad Men and a bunch of stuff. So anyway, he plays the neighbor that's the cop that the kids suspect. So this film is. How I know about this film is obviously I'd seen the poster for it. Very clever poster. Really, really cool poster. And in New York City, they would actually put fake missing child posters, but it was just the face of the kid with the skeleton face on it. The poster is this milk carton. Back then in the day, they used to have milk cartons, and you would see a kid's face on the back of it that this kid is missing, kind of thing. So when people buy their milk, they could feel really bad about drinking milk because there's a kid missing out there not drinking milk. Anyway, that was the poster, and they put that same image of the kid with the skeleton face, which is really it's a haunting image. It's a really good poster, and they would post them up in New York City, like up to the light poles, and it's just like, have you seen this kid? And I guess it'll have a website that you can visit, the Summer of 84 website to it. So I heard about that, and I also, one of the directors, or at least some of them, actually, I think these are the same people that worked on Turbo Kid, which was a fun sort of companion piece to Hobo with a Shotgun. So it's that sort of retro type of, I wouldn't say Turbo Kid's a horror movie, but it's like one of those weird science fiction type of films, but it's a good partner to Hobo with a Shotgun. It's that type of like over-the-top gore, goofy effects and stuff like that. So Summer of 84 is essentially, it's trying to be like a Goonies, but with if the Fratellis were killing people, like graphically. And I gotta say, because a lot of people liked, or I think a lot of people like this film, but I just could not get into the characters. I think they were trying to make us sympathize with the characters, because there's a stock character, there's the main character, the kid, played by Graham Fercheri as Davy Armstrong. He even has an 80s name, Davy Armstrong. And I think this film is trying to work off like nostalgia, and you just, these kids are like just speaking filthy. That's how kids really talk. Like if you saw It Part 1, where the one that was the more successful of the two films, where the kids just curse at each other, which is really what happens. I remember I knew I was getting old when I was riding a train, and I was just starting college, and I heard these kids who were like maybe 10 or 11 years old, and they were just saying the most filthiest things about their girlfriends or something, and I was like, oh, I was like that, like my lord, what are they saying? Anyway, that's how the kids talk. I remember talking like that, and then I don't know why I was surprised that kids talk like that nowadays. And but now they can live stream them talking to each other that way. But in this, the kids are talking like that, so that's not an issue for me. That was fine. And so the stock characters, like Davy's the main kid, who's the one on the bike all the time. There's the sort of punk kid with the long black greasy hair. There's the weird nerdy kid. There's the overweight kid. But I gotta tell you this. I didn't give a flying shit about any of these characters. I didn't care about any. Like Davy, I cared about, but it seems like they tried to throw problems for these other kids that didn't really matter. Like there was one kid that had a problem with his step parents. The nerdy kid they didn't really bother with, other than he was just, I guess, a nerd. Then the overweight kid's mom was a drunkard, and it was just like, or excuse me, I guess a person. I don't know what the political correct phrasing for people who get drunk are inebriated, constantly inebriated. I'm not making fun of that. I'm just saying I really don't know what the phrasing is for that. And they like try to build these characters up to all have these horrible lives when half of them they don't even matter because they're not at the end of the movie. Not that they get killed or anything, but it's just that it doesn't matter. You introduce these characters like they're like the four best friends and they all go on adventures, and it doesn't matter because they're not in the rest of the movie. They're just like they are in the movie, but like for no reason. Like they're giving them scenes that make no impact on the story at all towards the end, and there's no point to have. I'm slapping my knee because I'm getting upset thinking about this movie. There's no point to having those characters there. I will say the ending, like, is actually pretty shocking and pretty gruesome. When they confront the killer in the film, and it's like, find out who it is and stuff like that, and how it's resolved is very like blue balling with this type of film. But I guess it's supposed to give you that, oh shit, shit's gone down. I'm not going to spoil the film, but I will say that the ending was pretty unexpected. Like I was like watching, I was like, whoa, and I was just like, holy shit, that they went there. That's cool that they went there. They obviously did that to shock the audience, and it's not like I guess you can see it as sort of edgy, and they're trying hard, but I think it worked for this type of film, but not for the fact that the characters that do get killed mean anything. It doesn't mean, like, you just don't expect it because of who gets killed in the movie. And how it's led up to that, and like I guess it is an edgy, try hard type of ending, but I think it actually worked for this type of film. If you're into justice, don't come looking for this movie. But I thought that worked well. But I think in the long run it was sort of a disappointing film. And I think on my end it's because of the characters. I just didn't give a shit about them. It didn't have a feeling of. We're seeing camaraderie on the screen, but I don't believe it. I don't buy it. It seems like it's all bullshit. It's fake. It's empty. It's very hollow. And I think that's what happens with a lot of these films, that they're all trying to be nostalgic, but there's nothing behind it because these people actually didn't really live in that time or something, or maybe they have, and they have some sort of weird, funky idea of what it was living like back then. I mean, living back then is the same shit as now. It's just that now people try to censor more what you're saying. So I guess they were trying to do that, but there was no real. It didn't have the same feeling of the type of film that they were trying to replicate, which sucks because the characters. If you're gonna have a movie about kids, you give those kids personalities. You don't just keep them stock and then leave them as stock with just saying lines that anybody can say. So that's what sucks, and I think that's a real detriment to the movie. So I would give it a partial recommendation, just simply to see the ending, because the ending is pretty fucking wild. But as for a film itself, it's all right. There's nothing specifically must watch about it. Obviously has a good sort of synth soundtrack. All these movies do. Like it seems like they all pretty have good synth soundtracks. Shot very good stuff. Gruesome gore effects in it. There's corpse effects. There's blood effects that are pretty cool. The acting is really good. Unfortunately, half the actors are given shit roles, so who cares? But I think that aesthetically it's fantastic, but when it just relies on the aesthetics, then who gives a crap? So I would give this movie a passable watch. So a 5 out of 10. Oh boy, this is a tough one. 5 out of 10 trying to hook up with your crush who's about 5 years older than you, and you just end up in a really dark adventure. With that, this has been the Horror Deconstruction.